Today on First Cut, well, we've got another episode of Martial Arts Radio to talk about. More talk about Free Training Day coming this weekend, this sweet new sweatshirt, and more. So stick around. We roll in 15. Cup of coffee. Gotta kick that cord. Let's move that. All right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Thursday. It's November 11th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Good morning, Jenny. Well, it's a little bit cold outside. It's 28. There's frost on the ground. Good morning, Tommy. Had a fire last night. You know, it's I like having a wood stove. It's nice. Here, let me move this cord out of the way. Maybe eventually we'll have like more of a real set for this show. I don't know. That was part of the appeal, was that we do this simply. But I had a nice fire in the stove and made some dinner, and I've been watching Narcos Mexico. I think, what is this, the 3rd or 4th season of the Narcos show on Netflix. It's really good. I'm not sure how accurate it is. It claims to be based on historical events, but the little bits that I do know of that era of drug trafficking, again, very small amounts, seems to line up. So, good morning, Stacy. Stacy says no set. Okay. Well, that's an emphatic response. You guys like my sweatshirt? Here. Yeah. So this went live yesterday on whistlekick.com. Every year I try to do what I would call like a signature item for the store. And with the redesign of the store, which we launched this week, and a handful of other things that we're doing behind the scenes to make the store faster and clean up some things, this is the signature item. It is an all-over print. It's everywhere. You can look. It's even in the hood. Even the hood is printed. How cool is that? There's even some print in the pocket. But I think it came out really good. Stacy says, first cup is raw, real, and genuine. Love it as it is. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know how to be any other way. Raw, real, and genuine. I'm just me. I'm just me with a cup of coffee. Excuse me. Well, Free Training Day is 2 sleeps away. Thursday night sleep, Friday night sleep. I will be around Keene starting tomorrow afternoon. We've got a bunch of stuff planned. Tennis says that hoodie is the shizzle for Rizzle. Here, you guys want to see the back of it? So where is it? So we've got whistlekick logo here, and I'm trying to show you the sweatshirt and like not so much like lean over the couch and show you my butt. But there are real mock-ups at whistlekick.com. What's the price on this? $70. $70 for this. And, you know, discounts. You can get discounts. Stacey says it is pretty dope. Yeah, thank you. We try. I have a pile. There's a pile over there of stuff going to Free Training Day. I spent a ton of time yesterday. Most of yesterday was make this poster, do this form, print this thing, get these items. There's so much over there. Tommy says he's got 10 from his school coming. Wow. One of the questions people are asking, how many people are going to be there? I don't know. And that's part of the fun for me, because you don't have to sign up. You just come. Year one was like 22. Year 2 was 40. Year 3 was 60. Year 4, just about 80. 78, 82, somewhere in there. Yes, last year would have been year 5. I would have expected 100. We didn't have last year. So does that mean we get 100? Or do we get 120? Because it would have been year 6. Or does, with the move, do we gain, I don't know, a bunch? Do we hit 200? I have no idea what's going on. I just know I have to bring all that crap and do a couple quick speeches, teach a session, give a lot of hugs, shake some hands, make people sign release forms. Stacy's saying more than 100. You know, I will be surprised if we don't have 100. I genuinely will be, just based on the RSVPs on Facebook. Facebook has like 63 people RSVP'd as yes, and typically we have double to 1.5. I think it's been close to double each time. A lot of people that are coming are bringing students, a lot of the presenters. So I'm stoked about that. If every, I mean, there are already 21 sessions. If all of those instructors brought 10 students, we'd have 200 right there. So, you know, but it's not about the numbers. There's a part of me as a business person that looks at the numbers, and the numbers are relevant because these are people that I'm hoping to kind of bring into the fold and tell about whistlekick, and maybe some of them will buy a cool hoodie. How sweet! Look at this dragon. I love this thing. Yeah. So, Stacy says, break a board or 6. Yeah. It's about sharing what we do. It's about sharing the mission. And the more people we can get in front of, the more people that can come to this event, the more they realize that martial arts and events and camaraderie, all this stuff that we do is different. If you've experienced it, you understand that it's different. And it's not different because I'm trying to throw shade at anyone else. It's different because I think this is the right way to do it. It's different because the martial arts deserves better treatment, and martial artists deserve better treatment from each other. So the more we do this, the better everything gets, the better we all get. And if you know the business model here at whistlekick, it's very simple. Let's get people into and keep them training. And then if we make some good stuff, they'll buy some of it, and everybody wins. The focus is not selling product, never has been. The focus has been the mission, the product, the services, the whatever, come later. Tell me that is possibly the most Chinese martial arts question you could ask. Is it a 5-toed or 3-toed dragon? I see 3 on that foot. Three. This is a 3-toed dragon. We did pull the inspiration of this from more Chinese representations of dragons, you know, long, thin. If you saw Shang-Chi, you know, basically that kind of a dragon. So yeah, well, I'm going to take the hood down because it's warm. It's even a little stretchy, not super stretchy. Like you wouldn't call this like stretch material, but to me, it's a little stretchy. Actually, maybe it is. It's not like 4-way stretch, but it's super comfy. So I'm gonna bring this to free training day so people can see it. I will probably do my opening speech at the beginning of the day wearing this. So Stacy's asking the difference between 3 and 5 toes. Now, I'm sure Tommy's going to give a real answer, but I'm going to give the obvious answer of 2 toes. All right, it's Thursday. Thursday means martial arts radio. Let's see if the episode's live. I know Julia sent out the draft yesterday. I don't know if Andrew looked at it. I didn't have a chance to look at it, so hopefully it's up. Oh, so busy. Oof. No, stop playing noise. Rank systems aren't equivalent. In this episode, Andrew and I talk about how all of the people who get bent out of shape about someone being too young or too inexperienced or too little time training and having a certain rank, how all of them need to just not worry about it. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't. There's no universal standard for anything with rank. And how do I know that? How can I objectively say that? Because we don't use the same colors. Our belt systems are not the same. How can they be implemented the same? Just because most schools offer a black belt does not mean that means the same thing in every school. And everybody, I'm frankly, I don't know if I want to go so far as to say I'm sick of it, but I'm frustrated. We as an industry really seem to enjoy devoting a lot of time and energy to what everyone else does. Shut up and train. That's why we made that shirt. Shut up and train. I don't think the shirt's available anymore, but there's a tank top, last I knew. Oh, so interesting. Tommy says 3-toed were the evil dragons. The 5-toed protected the emperor. Most 4-toed came from European origins. Well, get your whistlekick shirt with an evil dragon today. But it's such a cool design. Good morning, Daniel. Glad you are here. Good morning, Deirdre. Frosty out there. Yeah, so check out that episode. It's on YouTube, of course. It's on your it's in your podcast feed. It's all over the place, and I would love to hear what you all think about this. So please check out the episode and then pop over to Facebook. Most of you who come in and comment are on Facebook, so it's okay for me to say this. Go to Martial Arts Radio Behind the Scenes, and Andrew will drop a post some point this morning, I'm sure. And then you can comment below once you've checked out the episode. I want to know what you think. I'm finding that I'm a little more willing to get strongly opinionated. Andrew seems to be fine with me getting a little more fiery on some of these subjects. And he does a good job of balancing out. You know, if I get fiery, he seems to play a little more mellow, which is nice. We need that contrast. But people seem to appreciate me jumping in, us as the two of us and us as the brand, jumping into these subjects. Is MMA ruining traditional martial arts got some attention from people in places I was not used to seeing attention, which tells me people are paying attention to what we're doing, but that one resonated for them. I want to do more stuff that resonates. I want to do more cool episodes. I want to do more stuff that people say, yes, I've been saying that. I've been thinking that. We need to do this. We need to talk about this, that kind of stuff. So if you have topic suggestions like that, let me know. Jeremy@whistlekick.com. Tommy says he's getting this sweatshirt, and fiery or feisty is good for a talk show. I agree. I try to be careful about getting too worked up on things because I think a lot of people use that as, how do I want to say this? Let me say it a different way. The majority of prominent content creators on any platform became popular by making very strong, loud, divisive, even argumentative opinions on prominent subjects. And so you tune in and you watch or listen and you respond because you really agree or you really disagree. And because most algorithms leverage comments as a factor to whether or not it should suggest an episode to someone, that's how they grow. Now, here's the challenge with that. It doesn't build a solid, positive relationship. There are a lot of people out there who watch or listen to shows because they hate them. I don't want us to be that. So I have to be careful. I don't want 5-10 years from now people to look back and point to, here are these 50 episodes you did that actually were not helpful to the martial arts industry. That's why in this latest episode, I didn't say, hey, all of you who are worried about what rank other people are, just shut up and train. Actually, I may have said that. I don't usually go there. I want people to feel like we're trying to build people up. We're trying to build up the arts. We're trying to bring people together. That's important to me. Stacy says she just pulled her martial artist handbook for the packing pile. Yeah, if you've purchased a book, let's get it signed. And I'm not charging for that. We are offering autographed copies of the book on site for $20, Martial Artist Handbook and Origins. Jenny will be there, so she'll sign those. I also found like one copy of Faith kicking around and 3 copies of the interview with Bill Wallace. So we'll throw those on the table too. Why are we doing $20? Because we don't have to make change. It's less than if you wanted to order it online. Autographed copies of Martial Artist Handbook, I think, are $24.99 on whistlekick.com. So it's cheaper. And yeah, because if it's $10, people are going to give me 20, and then we got to find change. No, $20, nice and easy, or credit card, or check. Any are fine. If you want me to sign your shirt, that would be free. Stacy says, first edition collector's cover. We did do a limited run of those. Yep. That was the goal. All right. What did you guys give me to talk about? Let's take a look. Got stuff from Frank. So today is Veterans Day, and the first thing I want to say to anyone out there who served or had involvement in serving, whatever that might mean, I appreciate you. It is sad to me that we equate service to country, and I don't just mean in the military, but just broadly, service to country. It is sad that for so many and to so many, service to country is a political issue. Most of you know I'm a pretty staunch free market economist, libertarian, not in the way that it's politically represented in this country, but by the true definition of the word. You do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and if what you do doesn't affect me, I'm not going to worry about it. That kind of definition. But even though I have those beliefs, I've seen what mandatory service has done for people and for countries. And I'm not completely opposed to it. I think there's some good stuff that could come out of that for us. So Frank's dropped some quotes in here, and I know Frank has some strong relationships with some veterans. So I appreciate that he pulled these together. First quote, we don't know them all, but we owe them all. And of course, that's a famous and yet unattributed quote. Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and where was I going with that? We have a habit of celebrating certain people in anything, and that includes military service. There are people that are more famous than others, maybe because of rank or because of what they did or what they did after. There are military divisions or military equipment, right, that becomes more famous. We hone in on that. And yet we do the same thing in martial arts. That's a fancy technique or form or black belt or whatever. And yet we know, if we really look at it, what's the most important rank? You could say black belt, you could say white belt, you could say whatever you are today. But They're a chain, they connect. What's the most important stance? Well, if you train them all correctly, they all support each other. You could say the same thing about military service. All of the people who served, I don't care if it's a cook, I don't care if it's I don't know, someone who's doing custodial things. It's got to happen. What happens if nobody picks up the gross trash or deals with sanitation? Everybody gets sick and dies, right? So maybe it's not the most glamorous role, but it's still important. And so when I read that quote, we don't know them all, but we owe them all. That's what I take away from that. And you'll hear people, you talk to older folks who have served, and sometimes they can be dismissive of the role they played. Oh, I wasn't anything, I was on an aircraft carrier, but, I was in charge of maintenance. That's kind of an important role. Without maintenance, the planes don't fly. And then the aircraft carrier is just a big flat target. Tommy says, it is sad how it becomes political. Breaks my heart, actually. Stacy just remembered that she had the faith book and she's thrown that in the pile as well. And she also says, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool liberal. Know that we still need a strong military and respect those who serve. Much like police, they are good people. Every job has bad apples, martial arts instructor to CPA to general. Let's celebrate the good folks. Yeah. I think more so than what you do, it's why you do. Why you do what you do. I've known people who have served for the right reasons. I've read about people who have served for the wrong reasons. I haven't known any of those. But I've known people who served because they knew they needed to straighten themselves out. I know people who've served because they had family that served and they wanted to continue that tradition. I've known lots of people for lots of reasons who served. And just as we talk about on this show all the time, identifying the why, knowing your why is pretty critical. There was a very brief moment where, so for those of you who don't know, the Air Force recruited me. I considered it briefly, but at the time, they were not letting anyone with corrected vision, I had glasses, fly. I wasn't going to go to the Air Force knowing I could never fly. But I let them recruit me. It was fun. And then in my 20s, there was a brief moment where I considered, I was approached, I had my IT company, and I was approached for, I may be getting these details wrong, so forgive me if what I'm about to say is not a thing, but an officer commission in the National Guard. It was definitely National Guard, and it was definitely not like, hey, we want you to come in as a grunt. They wanted me to come in as something. NCO, non-commissioned officer, is that the term I'm looking for? I may be wrong. Anyway, and I thought about that, and honestly, if I could have done that without my business collapsing, because, the whole 2 weeks a year kind of thing, boot camp and everything, and there was nobody to hold the pieces up while I was gone, I probably would have done it because financially it would have been really advantageous. This was in like the darkest times of the IT company, and we were hemorrhaging money. Yep, I'm really good at running companies that lose money. But ultimately it got profitable and I sold it. So I got a track record there. Next. The brave die never, though they sleep in dust. Their courage nerves 1,000 living men. Minot J. Savage. The brave die never, though they sleep in dust. Their courage nerves 1,000 living men. We do find a lot of motivation, a lot of inspiration in people who have passed away, especially if they die gloriously. it's I don't find death to be glorious. I find living action to be glorious. And I suppose that the two can intersect. But I hope today, whether or not you're remembering specific people, or just kind of the vague memory of everyone collectively. And I know we have international listeners like Daniel, and sometimes Casper comes through, and there are probably others that I don't know by name. So hello, everyone. You've all had veterans. Your country has lost people. And I look at that, and I look at what's going on today, and I don't mean in this country, I mean internationally. And I'm, I'm not even going to name specifics, but I'm going to encourage all of you to spend a little bit of time checking out the international news, because we're at a very interesting time right now, where we may be looking at the beginning of something. And there's a sentiment that goes around when we start talking about war. People talking about, it's easy to make the decision when it's not your children going to fight, etc. War, battles, fighting, it's not pretty, it's not glamorous. Not to say it isn't sometimes necessary, but I think the more aware we are, because this is a martial arts show and awareness is critical, the more aware we are, the more informed our opinions, our decisions, our sentiment can be. And as we start to wrap up, Dennis is bringing it kind of full circle. Stacy, ask a good CPA what the difference is between a 3-toed and 5-toed dragon, and he or she will tell you whatever you want it to be. Apparently that's an old dad joke. And one more contribution from Frank. So this is part of an article from military.com, and he's provided a link over on the Facebook group to the whole thing. After Japan's defeat and occupation in World War II, MacArthur banned military education in martial arts in Japan. Judo and kendo were banned specifically, considered by MacArthur to be overly militant. Before he also could ban karate, MacArthur was approached by Nobuhide Ohama, a university professor and sponsor of the Waseda Karate Club. Ohama didn't just ask MacArthur not to ban karate. He asked that it be taught at Japanese universities and that the American Occupational Force allow independent karate clubs. He told the U.S. Army that karate was a gentleman's sport, just like boxing, with some kicking added in. Karate was not banned by the Army and was allowed to spread. The United States occupied Okinawa until 1972 and still maintains a significant presence on the island. The years between the end of World War II and the end of the occupation saw hundreds of thousands of U.S. service members stationed there. Many of these service members either experienced karate in some way or took to learning the art itself and taking it home with them. So thank you on this Veterans Day to General MacArthur for not banning karate, because if he did, there would be a very good chance that there'd be far less karate in this country. And if there was far less karate in this country, I may never found martial arts. And who knows what else might have cascaded from that. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you back here tomorrow for Friday. Woo! And I hope you leave something to talk about over on the Facebook group here. Let me drop that banner in for those of you who may not know. Facebook.com/firstcupwithjeremy. I want to thank Frank for leaving that, and Frank, just in general, for doing all the work he does behind the scenes. I appreciate you, my friend. And I appreciate all of you for watching or listening live or later on. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Go check out this sweatshirt. Peace.